My name is Janice and I'm here at West Park at the Community Gardens in Wilmette. There are two gardens in Wilmette, community gardens. One here at West Park, which is in West Wilmette off of Lake Street, and then there is another one at Centennial Pool. There's over, I believe, 100 gardens here in West Park. Well, these are tomatoes. This is one of the popular plants to grow, and there's things that at-home gardeners may not know, and it is important to have something like a trellis. Here's an example of trellising tomatoes, which is very important because the fruit gets so heavy. So this person just wound a bunch of wire together with a little zip tie over here, and then we have our traditional tomato basket. But it's very important to stake our tomatoes because they get too heavy. One of the things that home gardeners don't always realize is that you have to remove the suckers in between two joints, and you just take off that little part of the plant and you're going to have less leaves and more actual fruit growing. Seed starting is important, and this particular gardener here is actually starting directly from the seeds. So he puts the seeds right into the soil, but he's also seed starting. But when you do it outside, you get the effects of the natural sunlight, the rain, the bugs, critters, pests, you name it.
Potatoes, interestingly enough, are a member of the nightshade family, which is they're related to tomatoes. However, they don't grow like tomatoes where you can grow them from seed. We generally grow them from what is called a seed potato. We start with just a couple inches of soil covering the seed potatoes, and then if you could see this crude box, each layer represents another mounding of the potatoes.
Pesticides and herbicides are not recommended by organic gardeners, but people that are primarily growing food here at the garden, most of them do not use it to think about what I'm putting in my soil and what I'm going to be eating. I use things like eggshells. Eggshells add some calcium to the soil. I plant them with all my tomatoes inside the soil. Another natural deterrent I use in the garden, for instance, on summer squash, winter squash, there is quite a few bugs. The squash bug is one of them that gets in and it lays eggs and it's larvae, and it disrupts the nutrition going from the soil to the plant. So I put aluminum foil at the base of the plant so that that little larva cannot get in. Compost to put into your garden beds is very important. So I make my own. I put all of my grass, my leaves, and my food scraps. And this beautiful soil is literally, this compost is from my backyard. The importance of that is that it really adds all the nutrients that you need to grow vegetables. So sometimes I even just do a little side dressing and I just put some of that compost just to give it a little nutrients, and I just do a little top dressing, and then when I actually plant my plants in the garden, I use this compost that I made. And then this is just leaf mulch. The benefit of putting the leaf mulch down is to keep the soil moist, to keep the weeds out. So if I get this mulch down in time, I will have a lot less weeds. The community here at the Wilmette Garden is tremendous. You build friendships, you share vegetables, you share seeds, you make suggestions, and like I said earlier, when you're out of town, if you need a friend to water your garden, maintain it a little bit, they're there for you. So it's really a great place to be, especially if you like to be outdoors. It's peaceful here.
I've been pretty much a lifelong gardener, and since I've been gardening here, which is about 8 years, I've learned more in those 8 years than I had prior. Because again, we share ideas. You have a question, you're growing something, somebody asked you what it is, next thing you know, you're sharing information. You find something online, you show everybody else. Wilmette Gardeners, we're a community garden, but Wilmette is a community, and just like the village of Wilmette, we all help each other out.
So contact the Wilmette Park District, and you have to put in an application. There's 2 gardens here in Wilmette, which we are so lucky to have. They are huge, they are wonderful, and it's a great place to be. If you ever need to find me, I'll be in West Park.